Okay, so this is the first of hopefully a series of videos in which I'm going to discuss some of the techniques to do with setting music for free exercises in DDI and DDE and other teacher training exams, and also just generally for people setting ballet exercises to live music. So in this first video I'm just going to give a very basic overview of what information you'll need to get across to the pianist. I think I'm going to talk about four main points just to keep things simple. And I won't go into much detail here. I'll hopefully have time to talk a bit more about things in future videos. Okay, so the first and most important musical thing that you're going to try and get across to the pianist is called tempo. So the word tempo means how fast is the music? How fast is the beat of the music? It seems simple, but tempo is probably the hardest part of counting exercises. And it's the hardest part for pianists to get right, it's not just for dancers. Musicians have two ways of describing tempo when writing music down. So we can use descriptive words, Italian words like, allegro, you've probably heard because that's a ballet word as well, andante, which would be like walking pace, largo, and these are all Italian words, and you could also have English words as well. You could say, I'd like something slow, I'd like something fast. These are all, lively. These are ways that people describe speeds at the beginning of a piece of music when they write them down. But the problem with these words is they're too inexact for a class. They're not exact enough. You couldn't just say to a pianist, play me something fast, and you wouldn't get the same tempo each time, would you? I mean, they'd play something fast, they'd do what you asked, but it wouldn't be what you wanted. It could be by luck, but it probably wouldn't be. It's too vague. These words are too vague. Another way in which musicians describe tempo is with beats per minute, or BPM. So you just might see this at the top of music if you're a musician. You'd see crotchet equals 120, and that would be 120 beats per minute, which is 2 beats a second. So it sounds a bit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this way of describing tempo has the opposite problem to the descriptive words. It's too exact. It's too exact for humans to achieve, for a musician to get exactly right. If you asked two pianists to play a piece of music at 120 beats per minute and they didn't have any metronome, they had no help, then they'd be roughly together, but there'd be a difference between them. People can't, a musician won't exactly get 120 beats per minute. It seems obvious, but the only way to get the tempo that you want is to exactly count the tempo you want. It seems easy, but it's definitely the hardest thing about counting for class. As you might be able to guess, people generally count too fast when they're counting exercises. Okay, so I think I've said enough about tempo just for now. This is the most important thing that you're going to try and get across when you count an exercise. If you got everything else wrong, but you got this right, you've got a chance of your exercise working. The second thing I'm going to talk about is meter. So it's spelled with an ER, like that. So meter just tells you how the beat is divided. How is the beat divided? It tells you, the meter tells you that. So in music, this is represented by the time signature. So this is all, this is if you're writing down music. Musicians think about time signatures. Time signatures just basically tell you, is the beat, you can either think of it as divided or is it grouped. So is the beat divided by 2, 4, and 8? Or is it divided by 3, and 6, and 12? So there are there's many, many more ways of dividing beats. They're divided by 5, divided by 7, or grouping beats. But these are the two ways in which you're going to set class. You could use a 5. People do occasionally, but these are the two ways to understand about setting exercises in class. The ways of either dividing beats or grouping beats. So say I've got a metronome here, and this will be the beat. So you could divide this beat by 2. So at the moment it's 1, 2, 3. So you divide it by 2, it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Divide it by 4, 1. So it goes 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4. If you divide it by 8, which is quite hard because it's fast, so it's so you got 1 and 2 and 1 and a 2 and then so this, when you divide something by 2, you're probably going to divide it by 4. It's like multiples of each other. Or you could divide a beat by 3. So it's 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and then it's going to be too fast to do these. You can also think about grouping beats. So if the beat was a bit faster, you're going to think about groups of 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and groups of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you also got groups of 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and groups of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and groups of 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So the meter tells you how the beat is divided or how the beat is grouped. So the meter is the second most important thing. The tempo is the most important. If you set a tempo, so you said, I want my exercise and I want it to go like this. Yeah, so that was the tempo then. They could play some music, the pianist would choose a meter themselves and it would probably work. You'd probably be okay. The tempo is the most important thing. If you get the tempo right and you get the meter right, then you're probably sorted. That's probably, you've nearly got it. The third thing we're going to talk about that would be good is an introduction. So introduction, and then possibly also in this one you might have exercise length. So how long is it? So the best, most fail-safe way to explain an introduction to a pianist is to count it. So you can think about how many bars you want in or how many counts you want in, but if you say 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and, then they'll definitely get it right. If you say 5 and a 6 and a 7 and a 8 and, they know what they're doing. They can hear you saying it. You have to count the introduction in the tempo you like. It's not that good to just say, and I'll have an introduction of 5, 6, 7, 8. If you've set the rest of the exercise already and the tempo is correct, then they'll know what you mean, but it's confusing. Count the instruction in time, especially in DDI and DDE. And the best time to count the introduction for the pianist would be as you start to set an exercise. So you move on to the next exercise, or you're setting an exercise, and before you do your first step, you'd count the introduction to the pianist. You'd say, I'd like 5 and 6 and a 7 and 8 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and, yep. So you count the introduction first, and you count it in the right tempo, and you count it in the right meter. So the first most important thing is the tempo. You're trying to get the tempo right. And then the meter would be a bonus, and the introduction would be even better. And the fourth thing that might help a pianist would be the style of the music. So it's a pretty vague word, but it might be a particular rhythm you'd like a tango or a rag or a mazurka, or maybe it's just a descriptive word you're looking for something in particular. So a really good descriptive word that is really helpful for pianists is strong or flowing. They're really different feelings, and you need both of them in ballet classes. Soft, staccato. They're words that definitely they have a meaning. So you're not just a word like nice, not just a word like, a descriptive word that has a definite meaning, that sort of thing. Okay, so if you got across the style, that would be fantastic. If you let them know the introduction, that would be great. The meter will be really helpful, but tempo is the most important thing. That's what ballet class is all about. Musicians and dancers need to be at the same tempo. That's what counts. Okay.